Every ultimate experience Ireland has to offer is always within reach with a 182 BMW. The ultimate bowl of chowder, seasoned with Atlantic salt air, the ultimate swim spot, even the ultimate scenic shortcut that happily takes way, way longer. Experience the ultimate with a 24-hour test drive from your local BMW retailer, because owning your new BMW is always within reach. Visit bmw182.ie.
Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah, I'd like a hot dog all the way, please.
Coming up. Here you go.
Thank you. Ew. What is this?
That's a corn-based hot dog flavored tube-shaped thing. It's almost good. That'll be $4.50.
You know what? No thanks.
If almost good enough isn't good enough for you, why would it be good enough for your pet? Add kennel kelp to your furry friend's diet. Sprinkled on your pet's food, kennel kelp helps with arthritis pain and stiff joints. It can also reduce shedding, fill in missing areas, and improve their looks. Healthy pets show even more energy and have better attitudes. See results in 4 to 8 weeks. The good news is, kennel kelp isn't just for pets. It's good for you, too. Sprinkle it on your cereal, or use it instead of table salt when seasoning your food. Kennel kelp is the holistic care solution for pets and their people. Safe for dogs, cats, birds, cows, chickens, reptiles, almost anything that walks, flies, or slithers. It's a holistic health solution for humans, too. To learn about their many products, visit kennelkelp.com. Get Kennel Kelp for a happier, healthier life.
Hello, yes, and good morning, and welcome to the Kennel Kelp Holistic Healthcare Show. I'm your host, Bill. And today I want to continue with the theme that I started yesterday and that I had to sort of abbreviate, and I apologize for that. Following up, talking about my newest business connection with Al Morrington from Movida Oils out in Downey, California, as he is now the official United States distributor for the Sea Miracle superfoods and the C7 technology that I've been talking about, and that's been featured over at my own website for the last 3 months since March. And I wanted to talk a little bit as a follow-up. I mentioned in yesterday's show that I would be having a conference call with Al later in yesterday in the late in the late afternoon, early evening, which I did indeed have. And I wanted to give you the recap of some of the things that we talked about briefly while Al was actually in transit going to another appointment. So we basically just made quick introductions, brought each other up to date on what we've each been doing, how we've been doing it to some degree, and the basic connection with Greg Prum and Dr. Lee, and what we may try to attempt to do moving forward. And Al kind of gave us commitment to be more than happy to come on the show. We didn't really get to the nitty-gritty of that, but he kind of gave us verbal commitment without actually saying the word yes within the confines of the conversation. Looking forward to having Al on the show soon. That'll be a follow-up with Greg Prum, as I mentioned in yesterday's episode. And I wanted to quickly get to several exciting things that will probably be coming on the horizon in the next couple of weeks for sure, and over the summer, as I also talked about briefly yesterday. I'm pretty much dedicating the radio show and actually calling it the Scalar Energy Show, C7 Tech. And we'll talk about doing some commercials and sponsorships and having the guys on the show when schedules align and so forth. So it is a work in progress once again, and I continue to edit and refine the shows. I just deleted a couple of old archival shows. I'm trying to keep the archive to a handful of shows, somewhere in the range of 5 to 10 shows. There's literally hundreds, probably in the 300s, of shows that I've done over the last 8 years. You would have to go way back to the Wayback Machine to probably retrieve those archives, if you can do that. So keep in mind that a lot of the shows have been edited and or deleted or both, and they're in about a 10-show cycle. So this show, I wanted to talk about Al's programs that he's been doing for a number of years with the cannabinoids and the hemp oils and the CBDs, and one program specifically that's coming right up called the T21 Day, the 21-Day Reset, which is the quickest way to safely and easily lose weight healthfully, slows down and even reverses the aging process, decreases, in some instances, complete elimination in symptoms of diseases, especially chronic in nature, helps you get more restful sleep through the night, has amazing energy to take on the day, increases your whole vitality, blood flow, intake. It's a dynamic program. I'm skirting the bullet points here. I put a link in the description of today's show that I'll be talking to my own entourage of California clients. I did that some time ago when I first brought on the Sea Miracle line myself, that Al's now the distributor for. And I usually don't do email campaigns, even with my own clients, mostly due to the scam and spam that's out there. And most emails go to the client's spam file, or they just don't open it. And for a number of reasons, it's really hard to email market nowadays. However, there comes times with new introductions and what have you, you have to make the attempt. This will be a follow-up to my own client base out in California, because what I'm about to talk about is indeed based in California, but due to your own proximity, you may be interested in attending some of these seminars due to geographics for those of you that reside in California, and may be more attainable and feasible as opposed to here in the East Coast. So unique to this 21-day reset program, you can go directly to MovidaOils.com for more information. I talked to Al briefly about my BH Sales 5025 program. I did that mostly via email. I've already extended, if you order direct through my website, any of Al's products, to include the Sea Miracle 7 and the chip, you can order them here, there. His products for sure, the vape, oils, and pills, and so forth, and any of his instructional programs and so forth. I think on the infancy it would be best to start conversation with Al. That way you can order direct, be subject to all the insider knowledge until I bone up a little bit more to edify getting a better product knowledge of his products. I have a pretty good concept of most of them, but like anything, just becoming literally connected with him as of last night, I want to be more comfortable in conveying his inventory when I get a chance to become more familiarized with it myself. So for now, I think it's best to talk to Al direct. Al's certainly not adverse to that. Do mention that you came through my website. My California people, if you connect at the conferences, plural, through the link, make sure you tell Al, that you're a client of mine and so forth. We'll work out something behind the scenes. You're certainly entitled to the 5025 vouchers, as is the general public. If you do something with Al, you just simply contact me back, and you would convey, the invoice number in particular to your transaction with him. It's real simple. It's real easy. I don't want to barrage people with the info. Sometimes they get overdought that it's a lot involved and complicated. It really isn't. It's just mention to Al, if you do indeed order, that you came through my website, you're a client of mine, what have you. You saw it on my website. You know me. You're a client, whatever the case may be. That way, that documents that you inputted it through my website for my analytical purposes, and then I can talk to Al, and that solidifies what we can do moving forward with, offering sales on an ongoing basis and all of that. As I say, we just literally talked last night, so it's going to take some time to shake out. So bottom line is, if you deal direct with Al on the immediacy, you'll enjoy all the benefits that he offers on his many fine products and has done so for, 15, 20 years. And then you would be subject to my BH Sales 5025 virtual vouchers, which are self-explanatory at the website, and you can use those at any time. And basically, would entitle you to a 50% discount on my kennel kelp in any size, excluding the 50-pound bags and/or my kelp powders, and/or a 25% discount on any other item featured at BH Sales Kennel Kelp website, and/or a combination of both of those percentiles of discount. And again, without that becoming confusing to you, just contact me. It's very straightforward and very simplistic. It's basically, I contacted Al. I ordered my example. I ordered his vape cartridges. I mentioned BH sales, and here's my invoice number, blah, blah, blah. And I want to retain the virtual vouchers and use them in December for 20 pounds of kelp. Those are all fictitious situations that I've set up for you as an example here, but you understand my point. So in this 30-minute show, I'm going to do the snippets of the show moving forward in at least a minimum of 15-minute intervals and with a maximum of 30 minutes for right now until I actually refine the audience list, guest list to be on the show, and then we will extend the studio to, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever it takes. And that gets into all the bells and whistles with the accoutrements to be able to do live Skyping and all of that. There's no need to enhance my studio to that degree, and I'll candor. Being a sole proprietor, I consistently bounce back and forth to refining the studio. So for right now, I'll do the 15-minute and or 30-minute segments via the telephone and keep you abreast of my blogs and the refinements at my website. My website's on target for complete revision in November and or deletion. I may or may not continue with my website in November, but I talked about that in the first part of this calendar year as I did my business plan outline in one of my shows early in January. And then yesterday I alluded to my 6-month recap of the 2018, where the business is at. Probably trying to foresee now, fast-forwarding to November, whatever that is, 5 months or whatever that equates to. I'm basically probably going to do this show for sure and my blog for sure, either at the website and or in and of itself through WordPress or whatever out on the World Wide Web. I'll keep everybody advised of that. And or I'll also still have my website on a much more refined basis, onesie-twosie pages, ultimately. What I have done, for those of you that haven't been to the website, a recent note on my homepage, I did put a link to my former website, which is still up and running, which is quite lengthy in nature. Thus is why I chose to start to diminish all that information and whittle it down. But I wanted to avail you all the opportunities to go there for the customer testimonials and so forth, and more in-depth information via that link on the homepage of my existing website. As I edit and refine and whittle my home site down, I've found that if you get being ubiquitous and having every element of the audience, if you have too much information, you lose the people quickly in most instances. So I try to make a concentrated effort to give you more links direct to the in-depth information. It's like going to the library, if you will, if you choose to get more books, more information, and do more research or what have you. That's the best guide path to do to your own busy schedule and when you can access the information and how much of a hurry you are in and so on and so forth. So the website will be brief overviews moving forward with the detailed information being at the existing former website. That definitely will come off the books, the former website, as November approaches, and we'll see how the present website maintains at that juncture. But I'll continue with the shows and the blog, and I'm going to have exciting guest lists to include Al Morrington when his schedule will allow, to include Greg Brom with his unfortunate battle with gastroparesis as he feels up to it and so forth, and Dr. Lee, who's a doctor and who's very busy and has his busy schedule allows. And we'll be patching in all of Greg Prom's Facebook page where he does the updated videos and via the links and my own video page and so on and so forth, and Al's page and website. We should be able to now offer a full breadth of product for basically pets and humans, head to tail, inside, outside, virtually everything for gut control, liver, brain enhancement, good clarity, good pigmentation in the animals, eye clarity, good paw management, skin coat management, shampoos, soaps, paw pad butters, nose butters. Those are all in the way of customization, and I get into detail at the website on customized programs that now need to meet those minimums for my private label, and those accentuate giving you extra value over and above all my customer rewards and incentive programs. So with Al's Buying Club at his website, which I just became a member of myself personally, as a client, I not only work with him and for him, I'm also a client of these products, and I've talked about that before. And I've been on the program with my own products for the better part of 20 years, and all the, my former life as in the fish oil business and through kelp and the sea vegetables and so forth. And where I'm at, I will always be connected to the business in some aspect, but I am cutting way back. Thus is what I alluded to in yesterday's show as far as distributor and so forth. I've done all that before, and it's no aspersions on anybody or any operation or anything other than it's a lifetime decision where I don't want to inundate where I work out of my small condo. I don't want to inundate my warehouse and cellar and so forth with a bunch of product. It's just easier to get into the auto ship programs and direct ship and refer you to the direct to the manufacturer programs. And one other thing, with about 14 minutes or so left in this show, I wanted to jump ship real quickly and talk about another one of my vendors that I've talked about that comes under the auspices of this direct-to-the-manufacturer program, too, Michael King from Vitality Herbs and Clay. Michael's been on the show before. It's been a couple of years, but he has been on the show, actually, I think 3 times. And I do have snippets and archival shows that I've played back for you here in my last handful of shows to check those out. And Michael has a wealth of knowledge and personal experience with own health issues over the years as well. And they're well-versed in the clay, and I've used them. I'm not only a client of theirs, they're a client of mine. Coincidentally, they ordered some more of my kelp themselves today. They use my kelp powder in many of their products. I use their products personally. I resell their products under private label. And what we've set up is a direct order system with themselves. Again, you would order direct, just refer to the BA sales code, tell them Bill sent you. You came through my site. To be redundant, what I just said 5 minutes ago. And you just convey that information to me. Now, what you do want to keep in mind that none of these vendors extend the BA sales part of the 50/25 virtual vouchers. That's the point of you having to get back in touch with myself. It's an extra advantage to enjoy the savings on my products. And it's also a great way, for instance, let's use Al and Michael's products in a scenario that you ordered both. You wanted Al's CBD oil for your pets. You wanted to try that out. So you go to Al's website, and you might be interested if you're in proximity to the 21-day reset clinic that I talked about, and you sign up for that. Okay, you're contacting me pertinent to that information. You get virtual vouchers under that premise. Unique to Al, you may want to use the 25% discount back through myself to order the product with Al for a vape pipe kit. You'd get 25% off right then and there. And if you join his club, there's a built-in 25%, so there's 50% right there. If you use these customer and rewards incentives creatively the way that they're set up, you can actually get up into 60, 70% discount percentiles if you combine all these things. Like, I believe it was my yesterday's blog, you'd have to check my website. I talk about the option 4 of my auto ship, which is about the most optimum, maximum capability of enjoying the most extended percentile of discount. Should you come on board, I already have existing clients that do this, that use 4 or more of my products, and there's free shipping and a percentile of 35% across the board, and so on and so forth. Self-explanatory on my website. And you pick 30, 60, 90-day automatic delivery that facilitates your schedule. I take care of that, monitoring that for you, just give you a reminder as you range in with your busy schedule. That's a value-added service that I also offer to tell you that it's time that you're ranging in on your 45-day cycle or whatever it may be. And you simply say yay or nay. You're not committed to it. So I do the legwork for you. It's a value-added service. It's one of the many. That's something that you want to check out. And switching back over to Michael, he's having a store-wide sale himself by going direct. That's all outlined in my today's blog, the percentages of discount that you'd be able to enjoy should you place a direct order with him that expires today. And then you'd have the virtual vouchers with myself for future reference. And if there was other products through Michael that you wanted to order in the future, having an appreciation for we're all limited to how much we can spend at a time or whatever, you could do that by the virtual vouchers in the future with no expiration date to use them on, let's say, sacred clay that you'd be interested in buying, but you just couldn't afford to do so today, if you will. Those are random examples that I'm setting up for you. Obviously, it's applicable to any and all products that they stock, both Al, Warrington, at Movida Oils, and myself. And then all the combinations that you can do, you can order from me. You can order private label. You can order custom products. You just have to meet those minimums, but those do give you extra cost savings if you have the usage for that type of quantity. So if you're a multiple pet owner, you could probably meet the usage factor pretty easily, your determination. On the human side, if you have a large family to use the medicinal products, for the human applications, the custom and private label products would be advantageous for you because you could meet those quantity minimums with little or no problem, and it's not a burden for you. Point being, like anything, the grocery store could have potatoes on sale, 50 pounds or whatever. Maybe a great sale, you may not need 50 pounds. So it's just an option, but there's ways to get creative. And with the breadth of our overall product, with all the products that I've carried myself for a number of years, the Power Trio, BH Sales Power Trio, which you've heard me talk, my clients are intimately familiar with this, and they're buying the product on a regular basis. Everything I do is based around kennel kelp, diatomaceous earth, and earth and clays. And my earth and clays, again, going back to Michael's products, his products are featured as ingredients in many of my products that I offer under private label to my clients. Point being, one that stands right out is my dog paw pad butter and all my dog butters, as well as my shampoo. And it also contains my barnacle bill blueberry powder that you've heard me talk about in my main cross promotion that I promote here in Maine as an ingredient, also in the soap and dog butters. And I take the blueberry powder as an antioxidant to go into Michael's sacred clay that I use for the sacred clay water that goes back to my tourmaline water that you've heard me talk about, Tourmaline Springs water here in Maine, which I'm also a distributor for. And I'm going to be talking with Al about the water real soon, as Greg Prom and Dr. Lee have both had the opportunity to sample the water and have high regards for it. And with all the water situation out in California and so forth, I think we can offer a nice package. Again, going back to my California clients, you'll be getting emails pertinent to all of this, to include the water. And Michael King at Vitality Herbs and Clay, I sent them a complimentary case of the water not too long ago, and they've had a chance to, imbibe it and take it around the block and kick the tires. And I'm looking for a recap as early as maybe today or this week as I ship them out the kelp that they just ordered themselves, the kelp powder for their fine products, where we may get some programs going with the water and so on and so forth. So the breadth of product now, both human and animal, we really have a nice entourage of products in between my own separate buying club, Al's buying club, collectively the buying club, all these opportunities that we can do, the BH Sales 5025 Club, the virtual vouchers, the auto ships, 4 distinct programs that helps abate those ever-increasing shipping costs. Shipping costs are a huge dilemma for vendors, too, especially small proprietors, as I'm all by myself and I have to absorb all of these costs. Thus is why I'm getting more and more into the drop ship, direct ship, and so on and so forth, unless the situation entails private label and or customized products. And, of course, my kennel kelp to my clients that I deal with all the time and will continue to do so. I have many clients on the auto ship program for that product alone, as well as my diatomaceous earth and earth and clay products. And the tourmaline water is becoming more and more prevalent, and it's a great vessel for the sacred clay water, which I've talked about at length over the years, and I use it religiously myself. And I've talked about my own health situation and how I haven't seen a doctor in over 35 years other than my annual holistic doctor physical examinations, and how the last 4 years my blood pressure has been 120/70, and I'm in great shape other than my chronic arthritis and other natural progressions of being chronologically old, but I'm pretty vibrant. I'm in good shape. My weight's monitored well. My body fat count is really low, but I do concerted effort to stay that way. I do a workout regime. I don't lift heavy weights. I have to stay with what I'm capable of doing. I'm still at the same time 64 years old, so, there's things I can and can't do. Not Hercules, but I'm in pretty good shape. And I attribute it, to the way that I choose to do these foods. And, again, I'm my own walking testament, and I speak to how they've worked for myself and my pets. My pets' coats are brilliant. They're just brilliant. And it's attributable to the way we feed them, and they take kelp every day and all these products. I've talked about all the games I have to play with them. They're very finicky. You have to hide it and mask it and doctor it up with treats and all that kind of stuff. But they're cats. That's what cats do. And, they're 12 years old now, or soon to be this August officially. And, again, that's turning the corner for cats. They're indoor cats. They have that advantage that they're not exposed to all that funky stuff outside, and they don't need vaccinations and all that kind of stuff. But they're really, really healthy. And, that's awesome. And my plants, I put drops of the Sea Miracle. It makes it much more easy. Not that I haven't used my own kennel kelp for soils management, which has a great application for that. I have many farmers that use it as soil amendments on a larger scale. And I've talked about in older videos, which are out there on the YouTube channel, about my culti cave and growing my own grow boxes and what I've done in years past with my granddaughter and at her school. And there's blogs and videos about that and how innovative the program and creative the program is at their school, which she's soon to graduate from and move forward into middle school next year in fall, and how they have an outdoor garden of their own and have for years, and the other local middle school that's in proximity has a biosphere gardening program, and there's a huge community garden within their neighborhoods collectively, and most of the residents in the neighborhood have gardens of their own, to include Ada and her family and neighbors and so forth. So worm factories and all of that, I've talked about all of that over the years and continue to offer those products, by the way, but I would confer you directly, as again, I just am at that point where I don't want to store all that kind of stuff. It's just easier, and that helps abate the shipping costs. The shipping costs and the handling and reshipping and so on and so forth. So I'm down to about a minute and a half. I'm going to play some exit music for you and let you peruse the information for today. And tomorrow I'll be back with another show about another topic. And I'll be talking a lot about the scalar energy, C energy, atomic 7, 4th generation, Greg Prom, Dr. Lee, all the shows, Al Morrington, and all the exciting news and specials. And we're trying to create our own buying community to keep everybody healthy, keep medical costs down, food costs down, And always remember that Be Yourselves promotes good health in all animals and humans. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next show. Have a great day, everybody.
Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah, I'd like a hot dog all the way, please.
Coming up. Here you go.
Thank you. Ew. What is this?
That's a corn-based hot dog flavored tube-shaped thing. It's almost good. That'll be $4.50.
You know what? No thanks.
If almost good enough isn't good enough for you, why would it be good enough for your pet? Add kennel kelp to your furry friend's diet. Sprinkled on your pet's food, kennel kelp helps with arthritis pain and stiff joints. It can also reduce shedding, fill in missing areas, and improve their looks. Healthy pets show even more energy and have better attitudes. See results in 4 to 8 weeks. The good news is, kennel kelp isn't just for pets. It's good